Lesson 7-1, Converting Liquid Measures, U.S. Customary Units. The main focus of this lesson is for you to be able to complete a measurement chart. And then I want you to explore relationships between cups, pints, quarts, and gallons. I want to use visuals to solve liquid measurement problems and then convert those measurement units, and for you to be able to solve number stories involving conversions. But first, let's go to our mental math and fluency. Look at these fraction addition problems involving tenths and hundredths. I want you to solve these problems. So as you notice, again, denominators are the same, so this time the denominators are written in for you. All you need to find is x. X is the numerator. So you should know the answer to your first problem. 3/10 plus 3/10 equals 6/10. So 6 would be replaced where the x is. 8/10 plus 1/10, the number missing is the 9. And 3/10 plus 4/10, the number missing is a 7. Adding seems fairly simple when doing fractions with like denominators. I want you to turn to Math Journal, page 228. I want you to look how unique this design is. This is showing you the large letter G representing the word gallons. And then inside you see 4 large Q's. Q's are representing the word quarts. In each quart, you see 2 P's representing the word pints, and inside each pint is 2 letter C's for the words cup. Let's take a look at this. Based on the picture, 1 pint equals how many cups? Well, I just look at 1 P, inside is 2. So my answer is 2. 1 quart equals how many pints? Well, the Q's the quart, and there's 2 P's inside for pints, so again, it's 2. 1 half gallon means I'd cut this in half, equals how many quarts? Well, there's 2 large Q's, so that means 2 quarts. But 1 full gallon, the entire G equals how many quarts? 1, 2, there are 4 quarts. I want you to finish doing Math Journal, page 228, and then going up to the answer key to check your answers. And again, if you have any problem whatsoever filling this sheet out, I want you to stop back and talk to me. Pause the recording now and do Math Journal, page 228. I want you to refer to the diagram at the top of page 228 as I am displaying the measurement scales on Math Journal, page 229. Look at those two. How are these two representations alike? Well, you should know and see that they both show the relationship between the units. And how are they different? Well, one is a measurement scale, the capital G with the Q's, with the P's and the C's. And one is a drawing. How does knowing there are 2 pints and 1 quart help you solve problems? By looking at the picture. Well, you know that 2 pints is in 1 quart, so if there's 2 quarts, I can just multiply that number by 2. That's why they're giving you these measurement scales. So again, this is the page that you should have just completed. Do this problem with me. In 2014, the largest chocolate fountain in the world circulated 1,800 gallons of chocolate in an hour. If 200 gallons of the chocolate were consumed, how many quarts would be left? Well, what do I need to do first? Well, I need to write down my problem. I know I have 1,800 gallons to start out with. And if 200 gallons of it was consumed, I would take that 200 away to get how many gallons I still had left. 1,600. So what am I going to do next? Well, if I go back and I look at the drawing, I know that there are 4 quarts in every gallon. So if I times this by 4, I will find out how many quarts I need. So 4 times 0 is 0. 4 times 0 again, 0. 4 times 6 is 24. I put the 4 down. I carry the 2. 4 times 1 is 4 plus 2 is 6. That's how many quarts will be left over. How could I use either the diagram or measurement scale to determine the number of quarts left over? Well, you could have looked at it just as I was doing as I was reading this problem. On the top of Math Journal, page 229, you are going to see this scale representation comparing gallons to quarts, quarts to pints, and pints to cups. Math Journal, page 229 is assessment check-in. I want you to finish that page, bring it up to me so that I can check it, and then come back to the recording and finish what you need to do for this lesson. Pause the recording now and finish Math Journal Assessment Check-In, page 229. After meeting with me, I want you to do Math Journal, page 230. I'm going to read the problems to those of you who need it, and those of you who don't, you may pause this recording now and finish Math Journal, page 230, correct it in the answer key, but come up to me if you have any problems. Number 1 reads, Marta is making barbecued chicken. The barbecue sauce recipe calls for 2/8 a cup of mustard, 3/8 a cup of lemon juice, and 2/8 a cup of brown sugar. Altogether, how many cups of ingredients are required for the sauce? Again, write your number model with the unknown, and then answer how many cups. Number 2. A vegetable soup recipe calls for 2/4 a teaspoon of basil, 1/4 a teaspoon of pepper, 1/4 a teaspoon of oregano, 2/4 teaspoon of salt, and 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder. How many teaspoons of herbs and spices are in the soup? So you're combining them all. At any point you need to pause the recording to finish the problem and do the work. You should be doing it even if I don't tell you to. Number 3. Rainey has 5/6 of a bottle of olive oil and 2/6 of a bottle of grapeseed oil. The bottles are the same size. How much more olive oil does she have than grapeseed oil? So you're comparing how much more of this one do you have compared to this one. Again, number model with the unknown, and then answer bottles. Number 4, Michael made a pizza. He put 8/10 of a cup of green peppers and 5/10 cup of mushrooms on it. How many more green peppers are on the pizza than mushrooms? So you have more of this than this, but how much more? Do your number model with the unknown and write your answer on the line. Number 5. We need to chop 4 1/3 cups of tomatoes, 2 1/3 cups of radishes, and 3 2/3 cups of carrots for a salad. How many cups of chopped vegetables do we need? So you're going to need to combine them all together, write your number model with the unknown, and your answer in cups. Remember when looking at 6 through 13, if the blank line is first, you need to see what you need to have in the end. This is telling you that this number plus this one will give you this number. Again, first and second numbers added together. To complete these, stop the recording now, finish Math Journal, page 230. Then when you've gone up and checked it, you can turn it back on and do the final step in this lesson. Your final paper for this lesson is Math Journal, page 227. Again, if you don't need me to read these to you, you can stop the recording now and do them on your own, and then go up and check them in the answer key. If you have any problems, make sure that you bring it back to me. If not, you can move on and do Math Masters page 261. The math boxes read, Lawrence has 5 CDs in his backpack. Each CD weighs 1/8 pound. How much do they weigh all together? Look at the question. How much do they weigh all together? You need to know how many pounds. You need to put it in words, do the addition equation, then the multiplication equation. Number 2. Angle MRS is what kind of angle? Write it on the line. Use a half protractor to measure. And then once you measure it, write the degrees on this line. Number 3. Again, adding and making sure you add correctly fractions. For 4, you need to fill in the blanks. 2 pounds equals how many ounces? We'll find out how much 1 pound weighs and then times it by 2. A half a pound equals how many ounces? Find out how much 1 pound weighs and cut it in half. How many tons equals 6,000 pounds? How many meters equal 400 centimeters? And 5 meters equals how many millimeters? Remember, you can turn to these pages in your SRB if you need to for help. What are 2 different fractions you can write to answer problem 3E? So this one. What are 2 different fractions you could write to answer that problem? Pause the recording now, finish Math Journal page 227, and then turn the recording back on when you've checked it in the answer key. The final activity for this lesson is for you to do Homelink 7-1, which is page 261. And yes, I would like you to take this home. I want you to find at least one container that holds each of the amounts listed below. Describe each container and record the measurements on the label. So, you cannot use a jug of orange juice, okay? You can use a jug of something else, but not orange juice. So anything that looks like it's about 1 gallon, write what it was and write its liquid measurements that were on the label. Something that was a quart. Now maybe you could put the milk up here and maybe you have a quart of orange juice. That would be okay. But again, I want you to write it on the line and I want you to write the measurements off the label. For a pint and about a cup. In the end, I want you to complete 5 through 10 and do the practice multiplication 11 through 14. Stop the recording now. If it is the beginning or middle of our class time period and you know this is homework, that means this should go in your take-home folder now, and you may go ahead on to lesson 7-2. Thank you.